Welcome back, everybody. Sport Federation TV. We keep talking about sport in the province and, of course, across the 6 districts and what is happening out there at the moment. All we, of course, know that things have been a little bit quiet, but nevertheless, quite a lot of sport federations are making an effort to keep the wheels turning using various methods, from staying socially engaged with certain outreach projects to administrative tasks and all the way through to high performance. And joining me on the line now, and he's back, Warren Lucas, the president of Cape Town Gymnastics. Warren, great to have you back on the line. How are you?
How's it, JP? No, I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for having me again on the show. I'm very excited to chat all things gymnastics and what we're doing innovatively to carry our sport forward.
Let's start at the beginning. We haven't spoken to you now for about 3 months or so. The last we spoke, there was all sorts of having now, of course, come out of the COVID, not out of the COVID, but I mean, looking at all the work that you guys did behind the scenes with the COVID regulations. But at the same time, you built into that your high performance components.
Yes, so we have been very active with keeping our high performance gymnasts training, mostly because we are still planning to have some kind of nationals towards the end of the year. Whether or not that does take place, considering the lockdown regulations keep changing and COVID-19 cases keep going up and down, but we remain optimistic. So we're having our gymnasts train just in case, so that they can remain competition ready when the time comes.
What does that mean? What does that mean to stay ready or just in case? I mean, for a high performance athlete, it must be very difficult to stay ready. I mean, we've been trying to stay ready for almost a year now.
Of course. So last year was, nothing could happen last year, clearly. So for this year, we restructured with periodization for all of our high performance gymnasts, and we are preparing them during this off season at the moment to master some of the skills that they need to learn in the specific levels that they are entering into this year as per their age group. Remember, high performance works with age, especially in gymnastics. So if a young gymnast is 13 years old, they're supposed to be in a specific high performance level. So at the moment in the clubs, our gymnasts are working on mastering those specific elements and skills to bring about their routines, so that when we have district trials, which is definitely happening in Cape Town, they'll be able to compete and then move on to Western Cape. And then hopefully if nationals does take place, then they'll be able to do that too during peak season training.
Are the athletes able to, as we call it, stay ready or work in the sort of off-season program alone? Or do you have to have a coach with you?
So it depends. When it comes to conditioning or, remaining fit and healthy, gymnasts can definitely do that with the prescribed list of exercises that the coach would give them to do at home. So they can do that individually, independently. It's just required that they make sure that they do that every day as per the coach's instructions. But when it comes to apparatus and elements and tricks and skills, that does need to be done inside the gymnastics club.
I mean, you're involved in the high performance side. You're involved in the high performance academic side as well. How difficult is it to keep a high performance athlete who has to be training at this very high level, where we know that sports psychology starts to play a role, and the ability to keep the wheels turning, so to speak, becomes harder and harder every day the higher your level is? How hard has it been for you to keep the athletes motivated, or to even keep the coaches motivated?
Wow, that's a good question.
Or a terrible question.
Or a terrible question. That's a good one, though. I like this one. So, of course, gymnastics is a sport, especially in high-performance gymnastics, where our young people peak quite early, especially during their younger adolescence, between ages 13 to 17. So it's not often that you have an older gymnast at peak level in South Africa that's competing at, let's say, the age 25, 26, 27, right? During adolescence, there's a lot of different changes that the body is going through, the mind and the heart are going through all at the same time. So managing all of that is a tall order, especially for the parents and the coaches involved. But one thing that we have learned in growing our high performance sector within Cape Town Gymnastics is communication. We know that sometimes gymnasts are intimidated by their coaches because high performance coaches can be a little bit more stricter than your recreational coaches. So having clear channels of communication between the coach and the gymnast, the coach and the parent, and then the parent and the gymnast is very important. In the academic world, we call this the triangle of athlete, coach, and parent communication. We have close contacts with Dr. Denise Boer. She is a sports psychologist, and especially for young girls. And we call on her every time we need assistance or we need to refer a young gymnast to her.
Well, it's interesting. Clearly one of the big things that pops out, even for everybody else during the COVID time, has been the importance of family. And
Yes.
clearly the support structures for high performance athletes is to have a good support structure around you. People who understand that you have to wake up early in the morning and you have to eat and wash your clothes and then wash your clothes again and again and then eat again. And so the challenges have to be extraordinary. I love that triangle model of what you've just explained, because I think that quite often we forget just how stressful it is for high performance athletes. Warren, I want to jump onto another topic here. You've recently got involved in the academic side of things with High Performance and Sports Institution. Tell us more about that.
So currently I am the National Academic Manager for the International Fitness Academy, and a lot of coaches, especially in sport, are very well versed in the way in the way that sport is run or the way that sport is executed. But through the International Fitness Academy, we are utilizing some of their sports science and exercise science resources to equip coaches with the necessary anatomy and physiology skills that they do need in order to understand their athletes a little bit better. Alongside all of that, we've also got programs that teach coaches or personal trainers, for example, how to design programs, and especially since that's what is at the center of gymnastics. For the 4 hours that a gymnast is in a club on any given day, there needs to be a program. If there's no program, there's a lot of discipline issues, a lot of confusion in the gym, and it kind of gets a bit chaotic. So the program guides the gymnast and the coach to stay centered around this one document, and also outlines the different expectations that the coach has for the gymnast, and vice versa. The gymnast also gets a chance to express what their expectations are for the coaches.
Obviously, if there's anybody that's watching right now who want to become a gymnast, who want to join up with Western Cape Gymnastics or Cape Town Gymnastics, obviously they're able to do that even with the COVID scenario as it is. People mustn't think that they cannot join a club and that there isn't someone there to embrace them and help them. How do people sign up that are watching right now?
So first and foremost, it's very important to remember that growing children need to be physically active for at least an hour a day, as per the World Health Organization recommendations. And all of our clubs have undergone specialized COVID-19 health and safety training in order to make sure that kids, gymnasts, coaches, and the parents that visit the club are completely safe. In order to find out more information about our clubs and where you can find our clubs across Cape Town, it's www.capetowngymnastics.co.za. There's a button there that says find a club. You click on that button and it'll bring up a whole list of clubs across Cape Town. You choose your pick, whichever is closest to you, call that club owner, and then pop in for a visit. Everyone's waiting to welcome more young people into their clubs, because we all understand the importance of physical activity, especially gymnastics, and how it grows fundamental movement patterns.
I think that's fantastic. I love the fact that gymnastics is there to help our youth stay physical or stay fit, get involved, get through that sort of physical developmental stage. But you guys are the gurus. Warren, we'll leave it at that. We'll say to you, thanks for joining us. We'll hopefully catch up again soon.
Yes, definitely, JP. Thanks for having me again.
There we go, folks. Warren Lucas is, of course, the president of Cape Town Gymnastics and involved with the high performance at Western Cape Gymnastics and involved with Gymnastics South Africa. if you want to join, as he said, just go and do a search there for Cape Town Gymnastics, and of course don't forget Western Cape Gymnastics, and find a club near you. Sign up. Gymnastics, fantastic sport to get the kids involved. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from a break, we carry on talking about sport in the province. Back in a sec.